Hi friends, welcome back to another video. If you're new, hey girl, my name is Liz. Today we are having our girl chat video, so pour up your drink. How good does that look? A little spicy margarita, my regular, but you guys, I'm so excited for this girl chat. If you guys are new here, we do girl chat videos. I would say like every 6 months I try and put them out. They are unfiltered, very raw girl conversations because I feel like sometimes when you feel lonely or don't have someone to talk to, watching videos like this is so soothing, just knowing we're all kind of in the same boat. You know, we are all women dealing with our own struggles, and so I want to just have a real conversation with you guys. So I asked you guys over on Instagram and YouTube what questions you guys have for me. They can be personal, nosy, TMI, what situations in your own life you need advice on, so we're gonna go over it. You guys blew up my phone with all of these questions, so let's get into it, girl. Cheers. Okay, you guys, we're just gonna start off strong. I'm starting literally from the bottom and we're gonna move our way up. And also, if any of my relatives or family members are watching this, please turn it off. I don't want to have this conversation with you. I don't want anyone to get upset, so please turn this off because this is gonna be a real conversation. So, first question. If a guy treats you perfect and is everything you wish for, but is still bad in bed, which turns you off, would you leave or see if the feelings could develop again? Okay, truthfully, 100% honest, I think you just need to speak up, girl. That's the thing with sex and, you know, like getting your needs fulfilled is you need to communicate that stuff. People can't read your mind, especially like with how like the porn industry is so whack as far as like women's pleasure, how to get a woman off. It's absolutely impossible for these men to learn correctly how to, you know, pleasure a woman if they're not having that communicated to. Like if you've seen porn, you know it's so fake. Like everything about it is just like completely wrong. And so maybe he just doesn't know any better. It's on you to teach your partner what you like, hands down. So I would say first start out with communication. If that's not working and they're like, you know, like taken aback by you trying to communicate, then I would move into toys. And if they're not down for that, then I would leave. But I think it's really important to explore, kind of talk about these things, and you can talk about it in the moment, you know, that's when I would bring it up. Or if it gets really bad, I would talk about it like outside of the bedroom. That's when you know it's serious, this needs to be a real conversation, but they need to be open to listening to you, trying new things. But you also gotta be in tune with your body as far as knowing what you like, you know, like maybe you had one partner who was like off the chains, really good at everything, and you just have those same expectations on this new guy. I don't think people are just like innately bad in bed. I think it's just because they haven't been educated on what a woman needs, and you haven't taken the time to communicate it either. So yeah, that is my healthy answer. I would say like you just need to teach them what you like, and they need to be open to doing it and exploring that and working towards that with you. And don't be faking orgasms just to, you know, keep their ego smooth. I know men have very fragile egos, but don't be faking shit because then you're just gonna be unhappy forever. So make sure you stick to your guns. Be communicative in bed, and that's sexy too, you know. It's sexy when you communicate these things. So good luck. I would say give it some time. I think it's all about communication, but if things don't get better, I think you gotta have another conversation outside of the bedroom for sure. Okay, next question I have is, would you ever create your own brand or product? If so, what would it be? Okay, yeah, so in the past, you guys, I'm sure a lot of you guys don't know, but I actually started a sticky bra brand. This was the first thing I ever did. I started a sticky bra brand for Black women on Amazon because I went to school for entrepreneurship, so I wanted to start a business, and I knew Amazon was the biggest e-commerce website in the world, still is, and I saw that there was no sticky bras for women of deeper complexion, so I started that. I went through the whole sourcing. I kind of learned how Amazon worked, and I think that's why I'm pretty good about finding products, but that's what I started out with. So I am familiar with sourcing products and like putting together a product line. It's a fuck ton of work though. Like the number of manufacturers you need to reach out to find just that one good quality product. It takes a few months just doing that, reaching out, getting your samples in, then having them kind of perfect the colors, the tones, the sizes, everything like that. That takes a few more months, then getting it into production. It is a long process, and at this point in my life, yes, I would love to start a product line, and I don't want to tell you what it is because I have it in my head. I just don't have time for it. I would love to make time for it, but right now, you guys, you gotta realize I'm uploading on 3 different platforms: TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And then I do other things on the side, like I'll do kind of behind the scenes projects for brands as far as marketing. I work really closely with Amazon on projects on a monthly basis. At this point, I'm just trying to kind of balance my social life and like work-life balance. So throwing another thing like that into the equation, I would have no social life, and I just moved to a new city, so right now that doesn't feel realistic to me. Like, I would love to, but at the same time, I also want to focus on my social life. But yeah, I do get the itch to do something new. That's kind of the entrepreneur in me. Like, I definitely get bored of, you know, making hauls and stuff. I'm like, it's the same shit, different day. So like kind of veering off and doing something new would be a lot of fun. It's just like, if I started something new, all of these, like YouTube, TikTok, all of that, it would kind of go to the wayside. Like, I can't juggle it all, so like I kind of have to pick and choose what I want to focus on. But yes, it is something. I just don't want to tell you guys, but it's something like right up my alley. I'm sure you guys can kind of get a good idea. It's what my entire channel is all about. Okay, I got so many questions about like LA, how's LA going, how's dating, how's making friends, so let's just get into it. So I'm loving LA. I think it's a really fun place to be young. I will say, I don't think I'll be here forever, just realistically. I'm like, I like it, but it's kind of a hard city because it's like, if you aren't used to like driving 45 minutes to go see a friend, to go do something, it's a really big city. It's so crazy because it looks so small on the map, but like driving and getting around places, it's a hot ass mess. It's a great city to move to as far as like making friends and like meeting people, because people are out doing shit 24/7 all the time, and people are genuinely like happy here. I feel like people will start up a conversation with you. They're always like, where are you from originally? That's usually the first question you get when you meet someone here. So it's been really easy making friends. Everyone's always so open to friendships here, which is so different than Minnesota, because in Minnesota you got your clique and that's it. Good luck moving to Minnesota because everyone already has their friend groups. Yes, I'm speaking like in a general term, but for the most part, people who live in Minnesota have lived there their whole life, so they already got their crew. They're not in such a rush to make new friends. But as far as LA, most people are kind of transplants here, so they're open to making friends. There's always something fun to do. As far as dating, girl, it's so hard because it's like, I'm not out in the streets like that, okay? Like, that's just not me. I like going out every once in a while, getting some drinks, you know, having a little drunk fun night, but that's not me on a regular basis. Like, I work like 6 days a week, so when I am out, yeah, I get a hit on, but it's also not the kind of setting where I necessarily like want to meet my future man. You know, I don't want to meet him at a bar, like maybe a bar, I guess, because I'm there too, but like a club, it kind of, you know, like as you get older, you want someone who kind of has their shit together, and I just don't want someone out all the time. And it's not like I'm going to a traditional job, you know. I go to the gym, I've met a few people at the gym, but I stay inside the house working, so it is a little bit more difficult. I've tried the dating apps, and you know, I've started talking to a few guys, but I feel like men in LA are weird, you guys. Like, everyone's kind of on their own grind, and it's weird. So I don't feel like if you're looking for a husband like yesterday, LA's not the place to come to. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, you're gonna meet people. I think I need to kind of like it's hard because I have genuinely been putting an effort to like go on dates. You know, I'm like, I'm down, you know, talking on dating apps and stuff. Like, I'm down, let's meet up. And they just don't follow through. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. I still haven't gone on a date and I'm 6 months into living here. It's weird. I don't get it. I don't understand what's happening. I'm gonna keep trying, but it's weird because LA, like, it's not a regular like cuffing season, you know? Like, it stays warm here. People are out to play year round. People are just like wilding out here. So that's the thing about LA. A lot of people move out here to pursue their dreams and passions. They're not worried about settling down. They're not worried about finding a future partner. That is not a concern here. Like, it's normal for people to be like well into their late 30s, 40s, single, doing their thing. Like, no one bats an eye. But other places, I feel like there's definitely like kind of a more traditional route as far as dating, like dating to marriage and all of that. And so yeah, I think, you know, overall, I like LA. I'm having a blast here. I'm meeting a lot of cool people. I feel like it's kind of opening me up to new perspectives as well. You know, the culture is wonderful here because you get everybody. You get everyone, every type of food, every type of language. I love it, but there are also some flaws, like I mentioned. Like, it's not a city you settle down in. So I'm having fun. I just don't see myself here long term. Okay, the next question I'm super excited about because we gotta talk about this. How to keep your homegirl in check. And girl, I got the best lineup. I feel like I struggled most of my early 20s not knowing how to properly handle her and, you know, kind of like spot issues, okay? So I don't care if this is too TMI because like 90% of women deal with one of these issues, okay? So I would have BV every once in a while and it was kind of reoccurring. I'm like, I would take that antibiotic and it would heal for a little bit, but then it would come back and it was driving me crazy. And if you've heard of BV, it's bacterial vaginosis. So pretty much it's a pH imbalance in your vagina that causes odor. Same as like yeast infections. Yeast infections don't so much cause odor, but they cause, you know, like chunky discharge. All just pH imbalances, okay? It doesn't mean anything's wrong with you. It doesn't mean you have an STD, but you should get tested for STDs regularly after every partner, girl. But I was getting reoccurring BV and I was like, what the fuck? It's so annoying because it just like, it's, you know, it makes you self-conscious and everything, and it's completely normal. It could be from stress, it could be from a new body wash, it could be, you know, from a new partner. Anything like that can cause it. So I would go in, I would take the antibiotic, I would take it orally, you know, which fucks up your gut health. I would take it vaginally, you know, a suppository, and it would cause like a yeast infection. It was just like a domino of bullshit. So I finally did my research and so many women were talking about boric acid suppositories, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try this because I can't keep taking these damn antibiotics. Like, they either, like, you either become immune to them or, you know, they're just not working, they're not good for you. So boric acid, pretty much it levels out your pH acidity in your vagina. So I like to take one of these every time after my period. So, you know, the day when it's all gone, pop one of these in at night with a, you know, like a panty liner and some full coverage undies. You might have like a little bit of discharge, but it's whatever. It's just kind of this coming out. But it's a suppository. I only do one after my period, but like if you have bacterial vaginosis and you want to treat it naturally with boric acid, I would do 7 in a row every night. And yes, you're gonna have to wear a panty liner and you're gonna have a little bit of discharge, but it literally makes you odorless. It's the best thing ever. I love this. And I don't stick anything up there besides, you know, like tampons and stuff. I'm not into like douching or anything like that. Nothing was sent down by her. We keep it very cool, but I swear by this. And I put so many women on. I made a TikTok probably about a year ago because I was so fed up up with women not talking about how to properly treat BV. And so I made a coochie care video, and that shit went so viral. I think we have like 500,000 views, and I'm glad because so many women had kind of the same story, like recurring BV, recurring yeast infections, nothing was treating it. Boric acid, babe. So I get the Killer by Love Wellness. You can get this at Ulta, Target, Amazon. It's like $20. You can get cheaper boric acid. I've tried the honey pot one. I've tried, I think it's called Boric Life on Amazon. They're all the same thing. Just make sure it's a boric acid suppository. You do not take it orally. You put it up your vajayjay, okay? So that is step one. That's what I do after my period to keep homegirl in check all month. But if I'm having like any sense or anything, first things first, we go get checked out by the gyno. Second of all, I will go ahead and use one of those. My battery's dying, let me change it. So as far as like showering on a daily basis, I use an unscented bar of soap. That's what all the gynos say, and that's what I'm gonna stick beside. Unscented bar of soap. This one's just the Dr. Bronner's, the $5 bar of soap. You can get it from Target, wherever. Just make sure it's unscented. Don't be using Summer's Eve or anything with fragrance in it. You don't need it. And when you're cleaning, you're never cleaning within yourself. You're cleaning your vulva and your labia and kind of, you know, in your thigh creases, all of that, okay? So as far as wiping, I also take it to the next level. You know, like, especially when you're wearing thongs, pooping, you don't want that string kind of going back and forth between your booty and your girl. So obviously using a wet wipe, I use the Good Wipes. These are the rose water ones. I like these. Anything without scents. Again, no scents needed down there. Okay, and the fourth product, which is a game changer that no one talks about, is the Ordinary Glycolic Acid. And listen up, I'm not putting this on my vagina. I'm not putting this on my vulva. I am putting this in my thigh creases. This prevents odor, like sweat odor, okay? So like BO, but in your thigh creases. If you have thick thighs, they save lives, but they also get a little stinky when it's hot out. Put this in your thigh creases, even in your belly crease. I even put it underneath my boobs when it's really hot, under my armpits. This prevents odor. You do not smell when you put this on. Plus, this is glycolic acid, so it's gonna help with those ingrown hairs. So I only put this in my thigh crease. Like, girl, let's demonstrate. Not demonstrate. I only put it right here, okay? I have to be really clear about that. Do not be putting this near like the inside or anything, just the thigh creases. But this, I put this on every day after the shower. No odor, nothing like that. It keeps you fresh all day long. So yeah, that is kind of my game-changing routine. I just gotta put you guys on because literally I spent my early 20s not knowing any of this stuff. Like, I don't know. Like, my friends didn't know about it either. None of us knew what to do. And I feel like a lot of women still don't know what to do. And you know, like, dabbling with medication or like scented washes, that's not gonna fix it. I feel like this lineup fixed my entire life, okay? So just had to put you guys on. Okay, another question I got a lot of is, do you think you'll ever move back home? And no. That's the thing, is like, so I was back home in Minnesota probably like 2 weeks ago, 3, and it was amazing seeing all my friends. You know, we just pick up exactly where we leave off, and that feels like home to me. My friends, my family, that feels like home to me. But Minnesota itself, trash. No thank you. The cold, all of that, I don't see that being home. I see like wherever the people I love are is home to me. But Minnesota in particular, no babe. I love them all, but I will come visit you, but I don't see myself being happy there. I was always very sad in the winter, and it wasn't like a sad I could pinpoint either. It's just like, it was just like, you know, because I wasn't lonely. I think I was bored. I was bored in that environment. It's cold and it's gray there, and I just really hated the winter, and I'm just so happy to be somewhere where, you know, I can go outside in the winter. It's crazy. I haven't even experienced winter in LA, but will I ever go home? No, I don't see myself going home unless, you know, like there was an incident where someone in my family was sick and, you know, I needed to go home, or, you know, something along those lines. But I don't see myself going home for me. because Minnesota is not home. My family and friends are home, if that makes any sense. Okay, I got this question a few times, kind of a few different variations, but the question is, what lifts your spirits on bad and sad days, and how to get yourself out of like a depressive time. So as far as me, I don't really suffer with the depression, but I definitely have my days where I'm in a funk, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling like lonely, and to kind of get myself out of that, I just try and be like outside of my house, because being inside of my house, I just kind of sulk in those feelings. But if I get outside, if I go to the gym, I know you guys are probably like, oh my god, here she goes, but literally getting those endorphins moving, getting that blood running, it always makes me feel better. If I'm feeling sad, like I want to cry, especially those Sunday scaries where you feel like everyone hates you, no one loves you, all of that, I try and go to the gym and it makes me feel 1,000 times better. I don't know if it's my blood flowing or just being around people, but something like that really comforts me. I also sometimes just have to talk it through with someone. Call your closest friend, call your mom, call your dad, anyone who you can just vent to and have an open conversation. Call them. Sometimes you just need to get it off your chest. And if none of that's working, girl, I take a nap, I'll pour a drink. That's probably not the healthiest, but you know, just kind of like unwind. I'm really bad about thinking about my thoughts long term, and it's something I gotta work on. But like if I'm going through some bullshit, I kind of push it out of my head. I try and move forward. I try and distract myself versus like dealing with it. But I will say, like on those days where I'm just sad, funky, like weird feelings, just being outside, running errands, going shopping, being outside of your house always makes me feel a little better. Just kind of keeping busy to kind of get through that motion of feeling sad. Distract yourself. That's what I do. It's not the healthiest, but I don't know. If you guys have any suggestions on those days where you feel like you're in a funk, drop them in the comments. Anything that works for you, judgment-free zone, babe. But yeah, I know especially with like the season changing, a lot of people have been kind of in a weird funk too, and it's just gonna get worse. But we do have things to look forward to. We do have people who love us, and we are not bothering them. So I always remember that. But yeah, I definitely have those funky ass days where I'm like, I just can't get out of my head. I feel like nothing's going right, you know, like, but I try and keep positive, you know. If shit's going bad one day, I will just let it go bad that day, you know, pause it, go chill out, go hang out with a friend, something like that, you know, go burn off some steam at the gym, and usually by the next day I'm like back to being good. Another question I got a lot of: the girls are getting fed up with online dating. How else do you meet men? Girl, I wish I knew. So I'm really trying to give online dating a chance, because just because you've had a few bad experiences with guys doesn't mean you're gonna have bad experiences with all of them. Like, I've actually gone out on a few dates from online dating, and they've been really great dates. And you know, one actually kind of led to like a long-term situation that I was in, and he was one of my favorite people. Like, some of them actually go good, and just because you have a few bad experiences, well, that's just one guy. Not all guys on there are the same. So I would just say, like, as far as online dating, I would just keep it really, really short with them, as far as like kind of trying to be direct, because you can play pen pal all day on there, and some guys are just lazy and cool with it. But to get to the next point, past just the, you know, the talking, the texting, all of that, be like, hey, you want to like talk on the phone? Do you have time for a call tonight, or whatever like that? Or like be intentional about setting a time to go meet up, because you know, they're probably talking to a few other chicks on there as well. So setting yourself apart is going to actually maybe lead to something, versus just being another girl they're kind of, you know, hey, how's your day with, you know, that kind of conversation, versus, oh, I had a phone call with this girl, it went really good, you know, like I'm feeling more comfortable talking to her, I'm not really interested in playing hey, how are you today? You know, so kind of setting yourself up for that. And I need to be better about that. But that's a whole nother thing. I need to take my own advice. But as far as how you meet men outside of online dating, girl, I feel like the best way is to get your girls together, go out for like Sunday football, you know, go get some drinks with the girls, do something during the day where, you know, people aren't lit at night. Like, I don't really want to meet a boy in the club, like, no. But like during the day you can have a better conversation, people aren't so lit, people are more friendly and like open to talking, and I feel like that's when you can make better connections. So that's probably what I would do as far as meeting guys. I don't know though, you guys. I mean, you can, that's the thing, is like I could say things like, oh, a coffee shop or the gym, but realistically people aren't actually talking in those locations. Like, you got your headphones on. So like think of like different spaces where people are a little bit more present, they're not in their own world. I would say though, I have best luck at like a bar during the day, or like, you know, like a fun interactive restaurant where they got like bags, or they have like some sort of games where you can kind of interact with different groups. It makes it more fun, you know, just go out, bring your girls. It's hard sometimes. I don't have a ton of girlfriends here, and I just love going out during the day and, you know, having a few drinks, playing some games and stuff like that. But like breweries, like they have, you know, like Jenga and stuff like that. Going somewhere like that where it's fun, a little interactive, I think that's always a good time. Okay, next question. How to walk away from a toxic relationship when you know it's gonna be bad because it's not gonna be pretty. Okay, I get what you mean. So if you start seeing like red flags of it being like, whoop, like no, walk away as soon as possible, because just think about it. Like, I've been in toxic relationships where there's like a lot of gaslighting, you know, a lot of insecurities, all of that, and I should have dipped before I got real feelings, because once you get real feelings and you get emotionally connected to this person, it's so much harder to leave, and then it starts playing on your confidence, it starts playing on, it like fucks up your mind. Like, you honestly don't even recognize the person you're becoming. So the sooner you can get out, the better, the less time it's gonna take to heal from some toxic bullshit that someone puts you through. So like, if the relationship feels hard at the beginning, it's time to move. It shouldn't feel hard at the beginning. That's the thing, like relationships shouldn't feel super hard, like you have to fight for them, you know? I feel like they should feel like a breath of fresh air. They should feel like your peace. They should feel healthy. And if they don't, you gotta figure out like, why, you know, why do I have anxiety about this? Why am I feeling this way? So I would say dip. So yeah, as far as cutting them off, you gotta cut them off ASAP and just tell them like, it's not working out. Like, we aren't jiving, we're fighting more than having fun. I don't trust you, whatever it might be, whatever you are feeling, let them know and just say like, this isn't working, because the longer you stay in a relationship, the deeper it's gonna get, the harder it's gonna get out of, and it's gonna take so much longer to heal from that. Like, I remember I had one really toxic relationship. He was super insecure, cheated on me and stuff like that, and it took me so long to heal from that, and I still have trust issues with men to this day, and it's all because of like one dude who I let play me. So get out of it as soon as possible so you can start healing and start, you know, spending time with someone who deserves it. Okay, next question. What's the best way to turn down date number 2 when it is proposed and you just aren't feeling it? Oh, I feel sad. But I understand, like, if you just don't see a future with this person, if you weren't just jiving with them, I would just let them know as like, you know, like, I had a really fun time and I appreciate you, you know, taking me out on this date, but I'm just really not interested in you like that. I don't feel like we vibed on that romantic connection, but I wish you the best of luck, da-da-da. Keep it simple, keep it short, and keep it a text, and just bounce. And that's the thing about dating, is like, you're not gonna like everyone you meet, and that's okay. That's what dating is about. It's figuring out who is right for you, who is not right for you. And if they have a hard time accepting that, and you know, they like call you out of your name, or they get mad at you, well then they're definitely not the right person for you, because they got some healing to do on their own. Okay, the next question is, just moved and wanted to make friends with people in my apartment. Non-creepy way to approach. Okay, so I'm getting good at this. I feel like I've made a few connections in my apartment. I mean, some are with men, some they like they wanted to like take it further than friendship. Some are with girls, all of that, but I feel like the best way to do it is being in those common areas, you know, like, and being friendly, looking friendly, you know, like saying hi to people. Like, for some reason, my last place was, you know, everyone kept to themselves, but this apartment, it's mainly young people, like people my age, like mid-20s, mid-30s. So it's a lot of people my age, and everyone just kind of says hi, you know, makes a little bit of small talk. But I mean, I've met people at the hot tub, you know, just having a few drinks over at the hot tub. I've met people at the pool. Those common areas have kind of really set me up to make friends. But also in the elevators, just saying, hey, you know, like making a little bit of small talk, and but making like intentional small talk. Like, I don't know, like, how long have you lived here? I just moved in. Are you liking living here? Like, things like that. I asked that question a lot when I first moved in because I wasn't sure about the apartment, and it's a great way to kind of open up the door. And you can play the move-in card for a long time. Play it for months. No one's gonna know. Just keep extending the date. Oh yeah, I moved here a month ago. Like, yeah, still meeting people. And then get to talking and exchange Instagrams, exchange phone numbers, be like, oh yeah, we should grab a drink, I've been wanting to try the restaurant down the street, or something like that, you know. Because I will say, like, 99% of the time, girls are trying to meet other girlfriends, especially if we live in the same apartment. We can just have drunken movie nights and, you know, like chill and go get a drink together after work. Every girl wants that. So, you know, just keep your friendly face on and actually kind of be intentional about like greeting people and, you know, making a little bit of small talk. So yeah, good luck. It's hard, it's a little awkward, but you'll definitely meet some people as long as you're friendly and approachable, you know? Okay, next question. How long should you date before getting engaged and moving in together? Girl, I've never moved in with a man or gotten engaged, so I don't know. No, seriously, I have no idea. I would say it's important to live together before you get engaged. I would make that very clear. That's personally me. I mean, I know people, like, based on their traditions, their values, all of that, they're like, you know, no living together before marriage, but I feel like that's crucial, dude. Like, because the person I am when I'm crabby, when, you know, I don't want to be around someone, when I'm low energy, is different than me on, you know, like spending the night at someone's house or going on a date. I'm a different person, and I feel like living together, that's spending 24/7 with them. That's either gonna make you or break you, honestly. So I feel like that's the #1 step. I don't know. I feel like if you know that this is the person you think you want to spend the rest of your life with, I mean, why wait? Honestly, I mean, that might not be the healthiest answer, but you know, we only have so many years on this earth. I'm like, you know what, if you really truly believe this is your person, you don't have any doubts, might as well get a hop on it, you know, like, let's get a move on it. I don't know. But yeah, that's the thing, is like, there is no right time to move in together, to get engaged. You know, people always kind of come up with this bullshit timeline in their head, like, we're gonna date for 2 years, we're gonna be engaged for 1, we're gonna get married and the next year, have babies 2 years from that. That shit does not happen. This is the real world. You know, people have babies before marriage. People, you know, break up. People, like, this is the real world we're living in. So I would just follow your happiness. If you feel secure with this person, if you feel like you are making the right move, do what feels right to you. There's no time. Okay, next question. Did you ever feel discouraged when your channel was newly launched and you first began your creative journey? If so, what gave you the fire to push on? Okay, so yeah, definitely. I mean, that's starting anything on your own. Anything new, challenging that you've never done before. There are gonna be big slumps, times when you wanna give up, but that's really when you shouldn't give up, you know? But I feel like that creates the grit for like an entrepreneur. If you can get past those times where you're not seeing your numbers move up and you still keep persevering, that's when you become a boss. Seriously, it's when you kind of get over those challenges and keep pushing. You know, you just gotta keep it pushing. I think I told you guys at one certain point, I think it was like a content creator Q&A I did on my channel. It should be somewhere on here, but I kind of went through the numbers with you guys, and I said, I think in the first 6-8 months, I didn't really gain any subscribers. It took me like 8 months to gain my first 1,000 subscribers. Think about that, you guys. Spending 8 months, staying in on the weekends, declining invites from your friends, working after work, putting like 2 or 3 videos up a week for 8 months, not to see any shit move. It takes grit, it really does, because you have to kind of see the bigger picture. I don't know, you guys, I love a good hustle. I don't know if I can pinpoint one thing that kind of lit the fire under my ass to keep me going. I was just kind of in that mentality where I was like, you know what, I want to make an extra source of income. I want to eventually quit my job, and it's very much so possible, but you have to put in that work. Even when you're not seeing anything change, you know, you feel like people aren't watching your shit, it is possible. And it, you know, if you're not seeing changes, you gotta switch shit up. But I don't know, there wasn't exactly one thing that pinpointed it, but I would say all of the messages from you guys, that was a big part of it. Like, I really felt like I built a community. Like, you guys were excited to see my videos just as much as I was excited to make them. So, you know, once I started kind of gaining some subscribers and people who would loyally talk to me, that's when it felt more meaningful, because before it's like I would get no comments, no views. I'm like, what am I even doing? But that's the thing. Also remember, like, I was working all these hours to put out all these videos with no views, no bullshit. And like, there was so many people in my life, they wouldn't say it to my face, but I knew they thought like what I was doing was crazy. Like, girl, you're really gonna start a YouTube channel? Like, okay. But like, if you don't try at your dreams, that's worse than listening to these haters. Like, for real. Like, at least try everything out once, you know? If you have like an ambition to start a side hustle or, you know, start a YouTube channel, don't listen to what other people think. It's not their life. It's only your life at the end of the day that you're going to like regret doing things that you didn't try, even if they might seem crazy to everyone else. Fuck the opinions. It's so crazy, you guys. Like, some people really didn't congratulate me until I worked with Skims. It's crazy. Like, some people I know really didn't congratulate me on my accomplishments until I worked with Skims, just because Skims is like a bigger brand name. But I've worked with big brand names, but it's like when they see like, oh, this legitimate company is backing me, now they want to congratulate me, and now they want to like boast me up and stuff like that. And I mean, I've done bigger projects than Skims. Skims really, I mean, Skims was cool, but like, I've done way cooler shit before. And yeah, I would just say, like, if there's something you want to do, put in the hard work, stay at it. You can't give up when shit gets hard. That's the thing, is because you're only gonna left feeling, you know, like shit if you give up when it's the worst time. It's like failing your driver's test and never driving again. Like, someday you could be driving in a little convertible on an island, but instead you never wanted to drive again. It's like you really don't know the end possibility of what something could become if you just give up the first time it gets hard. So don't give up on shit you want to do with your life. Okay, the next question. Being on social media as an influencer and going through a big move, how is your mental health on the daily? Do you experience anxiety? If so, what does anxiety feel like to you? Okay, so I feel like I touched on this a little bit. Babe, are you a therapist? You sound like one. So yeah, I feel hella anxiety, you guys. I feel like there is not enough time in the day for me. I definitely have social anxiety. I don't have, like, I get very nervous about new situations, and I know new situations are healthy. They're good for me because they help me grow, but I think everyone gets, you know, a little scared about a new situation. Sometimes in being in like big, like overstimulating situations gives me anxiety. But as far as like my mental health from being in social media is not for the weak, babe. Like, that's the thing, is like you have all these eyes on you, and as far as content creation, you can never create enough content, you know? If I wanted to be at the capacity where I was performing daily on every social media I have, I mean, I would need like 3 different people helping me out. Like, it's not easy, especially when I'm juggling all of this, juggling a social life, juggling moving to a new place. So it kind of like, I mean, sometimes I know all of you guys are like excited when, you know, I say I'm gonna do a new video. You guys hit me up saying, oh, when's the new video gonna be out? Like, when's the new haul gonna be out? Anything like that. But it's like, you have to understand, this is a one-man show over here, and I work my ass off, and I can't get things done overnight. I can't even get them done in a week sometimes. Sometimes, like, I have to personally check out for a few days. Like, I wish I could delete social media. I wish I didn't have all these people like asking me questions sometimes. Like, I love talking to you guys, don't get me wrong, but there's some days where I'm like, I don't want to talk to anyone. And I do take those breaks, and I don't need to justify those breaks either. It's just like anyone else who, you know, like works a 9 to 5. Like, I deserve a break from work. And sometimes it feels like work responding to people, and like, you know, like, I just don't think people understand how much it goes into even creating a video like this, you know? I had to set up for an hour. I had to get ready. I had to, you know, get all the questions prepped. And then now I'm going to have to edit probably like 4 hours, 3 hours worth of footage, you know, link some things, thumbnail, all of that. Like, it is a lot of work, and that is for one video. So think about me making TikToks on top of it, trying to stay active on Instagram. And I love messaging you guys. Don't get me wrong, that is my favorite part. But I don't think people understand how much I juggle. And like, I feel like sometimes I'm hard on myself because I used to juggle all of this plus a full-time job. And now I'm extra hard on myself, like thinking like, oh, you used to do so much more, but I really didn't. I was fully on YouTube only. Now I'm juggling 2 other different platforms. So I need to give myself grace to, you know, take time off, be present with friends. I'm a brand new city. Like, I deserve to have fun with it. But there's definitely times where I shut down for like 3-4 days, and I'm like, I can't work, I can't focus on any of this shit. And it's just, I don't know, it's hard. Social media is hard. It feels like you can never put out enough content, and it's not necessarily even a money thing anymore, because my money is good. I'm really happy where I am financially, but it's like being productive every day. It's like, this productivity grind is just like slowly killing me a little bit. Like, I'm like, I need a break. But like, even when I take a vacation, I'm stressed. I'm like, I want to update the girls. I feel like I have to include all of you guys in some of my favorite moments, and sometimes I want to be present. It's a fine line between like having my own life and sharing my life and being present and capturing the moment. So it's a lot of that. It's a weird thing that I like can't pinpoint, but yeah, there's hella anxiety in this job. Okay, the next question is, how long should us girls wait to have sex with the man we're talking to? I feel like this question is kind of geared towards like, how long do we have to go before a man considers us like wifey material? That's kind of what the question leans towards me. And no shade to you, girl, because I kind of used to think this way, like you had to wait a certain amount of time before you slept with a man for him to take you seriously, and that is not the case. It is all so dependent on man to man, relationship to relationship. Like you could be hitting it off with someone, you know, literally day one, like all the vibes are there, you guys feel like a chemistry, and that could be the right time for you, and you guys could still like end up dating. It could be, you know, like a more long-term courtship kind of thing. It's all dependent on when you feel comfortable sharing your body with that person. It also depends on like how you view sex as well. Like personally, I view sex as kind of a serious thing. I'm not into like hookup culture or anything like that. So I like to get to know someone. I want to make sure they have their best intentions for me. And until I know that, until I see them like reciprocating like a caring energy and that they care for me and like, you know, I trust them, I'm not gonna give it up. But I mean, I can't say that definitively either, because it's like I could have a really great date, barely know you, the chemistry's all there, and shit could go down. So like that's the thing, is there is no like perfect time to give it up. I think it's all dependent on, you know, what you value as far as like the after sex. Like is it just a hookup, or do you want it to lead to something? If you want it to lead to something, it can lead to it after just a hookup, don't get me wrong, but I feel like I build the best relationships with men when we've already done all of the talking, we've gotten to know each other, we know we're vibing on that level, because once you throw sex into the mix, it becomes about sex. You know, I just prefer kind of a more traditional dating route, like as far as, you know, getting to know each other, kind of taking it slow, and just so like all like the hormones and like the sex isn't a factor in the relationship yet. I hope that makes sense. I don't know, but yeah, there is no correct time. You know, you could wait 3 months for this man and he still wouldn't consider you wifey. You could wait one night and this man might love the shit out of you. It really depends on the relationship. It depends on the chemistry, the person. I don't think there's a correct time. Okay, the next question. This one's interesting. No one's ever asked me this. Do you run into rude guys when dating and being mid-sized? Okay, so the only time men are rude to me is when I shut them down or I reject them. So like if a guy's chopping it up with me and, you know, I'm not interested and I tell them, you know, I'm not interested, thanks, but no, then they got all sorts of things to say to me. Only the bad guys. Most guys, you know, can take rejection and move on, but some like to call me fat, ugly, da-da-da-da-da, all of that. And that's never bothered me, because I know you were just hitting on me, you were just trying to get with me. But it's crazy as fuck for them to like say that shit, you know, because they were just hitting on me and now they want to call me fat and all sorts of things. I feel like probably plus size women can completely relate to this, because men, their egos are so fucking fragile, some of them, not all of them. It's almost on an incel level where they are just so fucking fragile that they gotta come and say something that's gonna hurt them, hurt you as much as it hurt them. And I try and always be polite with my turn downs. Usually now I just say, I got a boyfriend, da da da. Like, you know, I'm not even trying to like hurt anyone's feelings or make it weird. Because men literally cannot take the fact that like, oh, I'm just not interested in you. Whatever. But yeah, that's the only time when men have been downright rude or mean to me and called, you know, me out of my name and bitch, fat, da-da-da, all of that. It doesn't get to me. I don't really give a fuck. I got some tough skin, babe. I've been in this body my whole life. But what I will say is, being mid-size, I have dated very athletic built men a lot. Like that's usually my main type, is like a stronger, very athletic type of guy. And never once have they said anything about my body or like, you know, you're like thick, like fat or anything like that. You know, they love to say you're thick or like a booty, da 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 da, all that. Curves, they love to say that shit, but no one has ever said like, oh, you should probably get into the gym, or they have not commented on my body in a negative way. Men, I mean, the men I date, they love my body. You know, that's why we're dating. I mean, that's not the only reason, but you know, everyone has their own preference when it comes to people they're attracted to. You know, body shape, plus size, skinny, fit, curvy, mid-size. Everyone has their own preference, and the men I date are clearly attracted to my body, the way I present myself, and my looks, all of that, and hopefully my personality. But we gotta switch out the battery one more time. Next question, how do you deal with toxic family members like toxic mother and siblings? Thanks, girl, love ya. I love you too, and I'm so sorry. That's some bullshit. Your family should kind of be your rock, so I'm sorry that you have to deal with that. I would just kind of limit your time around them, or check them on their bullshit and be like, you know, you don't get to take this out on me, because that's not fair to you. If you are trying to be the healthier person in the relationship, you gotta check people, you gotta call them out when they are being a little crazy. If they're toxic to the point where it's, you know, doing one on your mental health, I would rely on friends and maybe like distant relatives, anyone who you love and who you feel like supports you and has your back and is like part of your family, I would rely on them. Some people just don't heal, you know, some people are older, they take out their anger and bullshit on other people, and it's not fair to you, and it's not your place to fix people. Even if they are your family members, even if you love them, you also need to put up boundaries with some people. They cannot talk to you some certain way. They can't treat you some certain way. So I would just set up those boundaries. And if it gets to a point where it's just all bad, it's okay to cut off ties with some family members. You know, maybe just temporarily, maybe permanent, but like, it's okay to cut off ties with people who don't treat you right, who don't respect you, and are not good for your mental health, for your overall well-being. So yeah, I'm sorry, that makes my heart hurt. Next one, girl, where do you find the energy to work out? I try, but I can't make a habit out of it. You're talking to the wrong bitch right now, because I can't make a habit out of it either. I feel like my working out comes in seasons, you guys. But I know my best seasons of my life, when I feel mentally the healthiest, happiest, most energy, is when I'm like including working out. So I always try and remind myself of that. And you know, like sometimes working out really does feel like a chore, but you never come out of a workout feeling like, oh my God, this was a waste of time. Like, you at least feel a little bit better. So I mean, I personally, if you are trying to make it part of your routine, part of a lifestyle, I would set up a challenge for yourself, you know, like, you know, and it doesn't even need to be anything aggressive, like 2 times every week for a month, let's go. And then we reward ourselves with, you know, a little shopping spree or something like that. You could just set up a little goal like that. Or like my favorite trainer, he does like a 30-day workout programs, which I did one and it kicked my whole ass, but I've never looked better in my life. I follow I'm Rock Solid Fitness on Instagram, and he does these 30-day challenges, you know, every 3 or 4 months, and a lot of women do them. I'm sure like probably like 500, 600 women sign up, and then there's a whole like community tab, and then you do the workouts on the same day as all of these women. Another way to be held accountable is joining classes. Like, sign up for it in the morning, especially if by the time you get home from work you're like, the working out is the last thing I want to do. And honestly, another tip is, when I was working at my job, I would just pack my gym clothes in the morning and go straight to the gym after work, because if, God forbid, I went home, babe, I would not work out. I would not leave my house after I got home. So I knew I had to go work, gym, then home. If I went work, home, gym, there would be no gym. So yeah, just kind of setting yourself up and like setting it up in your mind that you have the expectation like, okay, this is what we're gonna do today. I think that's kind of a big proponent in just being productive in general, is kind of having a game plan for the next day. Because on the days that I wake up and I have no idea what I'm gonna do for work, I'm kind of just like all over the place. I'm not productive. But if I kind of plan out the night before, like what are my goals for the next day, what do I want to get done, 9 times out of 10 I'm getting them done. You know, if I'm prepped and I have it already in my head that this is what we're gonna do tomorrow, I'm good. I think those are all the questions we're gonna answer. I feel like we answered a lot. I also got a lot of questions on like starting a business or getting into a side hustle. I feel like I don't want to address those in our girl talk because they kind of sober me up. But I will address them with you guys personally if you guys want to chat about them. Otherwise, I do have a YouTube video about like content creation and how to get into all of that and kind of some tips on that. But I'd be happy to like shoot some DMs with you guys back and forth if it's something you guys are seriously interested in. But I feel like that's not on the girl chat subject. But yeah, I feel like we answered a lot of questions. I had so much fun filming this, so I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with me tonight. Cheers, baby boo. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye. Okay, you guys, I feel like that's enough questions for tonight. I don't want to get redundant or anything. I'm sorry if I missed your questions. I was trying to cover the most juicy ones. I know a lot of you guys had questions on like side hustles, YouTube content creation, and I would be happy to DM with you guys back and forth if you want to hit me up over on Instagram. I love chatting about business, entrepreneurship, all of that, so feel free to hit me up. I would love to talk to you. But yeah, I kind of wanted to make tonight a straight up girl chat, just girl talking all night. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely leave your opinions on the topics we covered in the comments. I want to hear back from you guys. I want to see what you agree with, what you disagree with. If you have any advice for our girls, let us know in the comments. But thank you so much for hanging out with me. I love you guys so much, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye. Aside from my soul.